This is our trip to Israel, where talk about seeing. I've seen other borders, but when I saw this one, you really tend to put things into perspective. Hey everyone, just finished a briefing here. I find myself now on the Israeli-Lebanon border and a piece of Syria there behind me as well. But what's interesting about this area is that as the individuals and terrorists that occupy this part of Lebanon, and I'm talking about Hezbollah. And if you guys remember, we've had Hezbollah in our own southern border in Mexico working with the cartels because they need the money to finance their activities. But I don't know if you could tell here behind me there, we have a wall. Yes, they do have a wall in Israel. And yes, it's a full concrete wall to protect their borders from terrorists every day. These houses that you see here behind me, they look very nice, but these a lot of them have their own bunkers and are utilized by Hezbollah to occupy this village in this region. A lot of information, great briefing by the IDF here in this area. We'll be heading to other corners. I just did a quick interview with Tom Holman and Sarah Carter from Fox News. It's an incredible trip, learning a lot, and what we have to do in the United States to bring that sense of urgency and protection of our public and our sovereignty. Well, this is the second stop of our tour here in the West Bank. What you see behind me is a tower with the wall and Palestine on the other side. And we're getting an excellent briefing by a retired colonel from the Israeli army and how they secure their border from Palestine. This is right on the border, right on the Israeli side. This right here behind me, this highway is the number one highway that runs from northern Israel all the way down south. And so the Palestinians were shooting at the traffic from Palestine into shooting at cars. Kalkilia is the name of the town inside the West Bank, Kalkilia. And it's Zone A, and I'll explain that later, but Zone A meaning it's under the control of Palestine and not under any control of the security forces of Israeli. Very, very interesting. We just came from a port of entry as well. I've seen those before, but very interesting how Israel does their security and protect their lives and the intrusion from terrorists, Hamas, Hezbollah, and others, jihadists. Learning a lot, guys, trying to bring some of this information and the seriousness of border security back to the United States that is much, much needed. Stay tuned.
We've got a lot of military-aged Chinese nationals coming in. I'm told
almost 50,000.
50,000 for what period of time?
In this administration, in the last 3.5 years. Almost 48 and change, 49,000.
And the 10 years between 2010 and 2020, they tell me it was closer to 1,000, 1,200. So it's gone up to 50,000 during this administration. A significant portion of them military-aged men.
Yes.
And I'm told by the border agents that a lot of them have military haircuts. They've got new boots. They're in shape. They look like they're coming here with training.
I've seen them at the border when these groups are coming in. You see them. Well, my training. Anybody could see them. They're like, you either been institutionalized in a prison or you're a soldier. You're one or the other because of the way you're standing, because of the way you take direction, where you place your hands, where you place your feet, where you place your belongings, how you put it. It's a very
regimented,
very detectable, sign. And I've seen them a lot from Venezuela. I've actually had the Venezuelans admit to me that they're actual soldiers. They're soldiers. Yeah, from Venezuela. Yeah, but what did you do there? What was your job? How did you eat? Well, I'm a member of the forces, and you're a soldier? What the heck are you doing here?
This just seems to me, our leaders are fiduciaries. It just seems to me that this is beyond poor judgment. just seems like a dereliction of duty. I mean, we're to support the Constitution. This doesn't seem to me that we are supporting the Constitution in this regard. Am I
agree
wrong?
with you. You're not wrong. Dereliction of duty is a very good term. People are getting impeached over it, and my concern is the well-being of the American people, public safety, national security. I've been in Peoria, Illinois. I was in Iowa, and these towns are highly affected now by cartel, illegal immigration, crime, and they were already dealing with high levels of crime to begin with our own people, and so they're like, well, we don't know what to do.
Final question: are these cartels having firefights along the border on the Mexican side?
As a matter of fact, this past week was a very deadly week in Tamaulipas, the state of Tamaulipas, which is probably the most dangerous one right now. It's on the other side of Matamoros or Brownsville, Texas, South Texas. And it's the Gulf Cartel versus Los Zetas and CDN. And it's always the same fight. It's for territory. It's for trafficking routes up to the border, right? You have Sinaloa Cartel take over the El Paso, Texas area, Ciudad Juarez, which I have never in my life thought that would happen. That was under the Juarez Cartel, which at one point was the most dangerous and powerful cartel in the world. Sinaloa has grown so much, it's taken over that territory. But there's continuous daily fights in the middle of the day. A lot of innocent people dead. Cartels versus military versus police, back and forth. And it's ignored over there.
And they tell me that the cartels have incredible armament. They got rockets,
RPGs, belt-fed machine guns, armored vehicles of different classes now. You've probably seen some of these videos. When I see these videos and how they're dressed, and I see money. That's all I see is billions of dollars that they firearms, a lot of the weapons from the U.S., a lot of weapons that are supposed to go to Ukraine ended up in the hands of the cartel.
Really? How are they getting to the cartel?
Well, the cartel has money and power and influence in a lot of places that sometimes people don't imagine, and they get their hands on these weapons. They want weapons. It's illegal to possess a weapon in Mexico, but not. They operate with impunity in Mexico. They carry weapons like in open carry.
We're sending weapons to Ukraine. Are they getting them en route, or are they getting them from Ukraine?
They're getting them en route.
So
they're getting them en route. The same thing with Fast and Furious type of operations. You know, two of the guns used against us were part of Operation Fast and Furious. So they're ending up 50 cal. I mean, you're talking about armament that I think even the Mexican military at this point would have a hard time dealing with the cartels because of the sheer numbers that they have and the broad, and not just in Mexico, in the United States and 40 countries abroad. They have presence everywhere. These guys are highly sophisticated networks. I want people to understand these are not gangs anymore. These are not your, let's get together.
These are regiments.
These are regiments. These are highly sophisticated networks.
On U.S. soil, we have some of these cartels that are armed and prepared to move and protect.
Yes, and they and some of the conferences, I show some of the videos of them patrolling in Arizona and in Texas in their trucks, fully armed, 50 cals, AKs, driving in our state, in our country. It's not in Mexico. It's not in Central America. It's not in Iraq. It's here. There's one in Phoenix where it's very scary. They're passing a trooper that had pulled over a vehicle, and these guys are making fun, just driving. They're amongst the traffic.
In an armored vehicle.
And but I don't know if that vehicle is armored because the shot is from the inside, but they have a 50 cal in the middle of the, and then they have fully armed and they're driving that. But this is happening every single day here.
We've got to get this word out broader than it is now.
Yes.
And
thank you for doing it.
You're going to help with that by telling us this information. And if you've got video, we want it. And I want to talk to you more.
Absolutely.
If you'll do it, I'll help you get the word out and you help me get the word out. You got the info, I got the megaphone.
On a daily basis, I still get the videos and the calls from sources and friends. And sometimes I don't even want to watch those, Dr. Phil. They're so violent. And I've seen plenty that I just start watching it all. I don't want to watch them because they're very, very violent. These cartels are very, very ritualistic and evil is what they are, and I've seen it firsthand.